What's up, investigators? It's Graham again from the Palletcast Detective Agency. This is part 2 in a tabletop simulator, like tips and tricks series that I'm doing. If you've never played Arkham Horror on Tabletop Simulator, this is the video for you. So now my first video, which is a different one, go watch that, is just about like getting Tabletop Simulator up and running, really basic stuff. If you've played a lot of Tabletop Simulator, you will probably be familiar with most of the stuff that's in that video, with the exception of setting up the Super Complete mod. In this video, there's a couple of tricks that are kind of optional that I really enjoy. I use Tabletop Sim a lot to play solo Arkham. I don't feel bad because I already own all the cards anyway, right? So, yeah, anyway, so let's get into the game a little bit here. And let's see. Here we are. All right, so let's start with cameras. I think cameras are probably the biggest thing. You know how you press spacebar and you see the entire table? Well, that's really far zoomed out and not super helpful. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some cameras that we can snap to throughout the rest of the game. So I like getting one of this Mythos area up here. And to me, that's top of the round, so I'm going to set this to camera number 1. What you do is you hold down Control and press the number 1, and Tabletop Sim says, saved camera number 1. So then later on, if you're looking over here, you can hold Shift and press 1 to move back to that position. Which means if you set up enough cameras, now you're snapping around anywhere you need to on the table. So let's get one of the map here. This is an extra deck, I think. So I don't need that. All right, so here's one of the play area, and I'm going to set up a camera here. Something I want to keep in mind is, remember, I've got a hand, and those cards are going to show up at the bottom of my screen, so I want to account for those when I'm setting my camera. And this play area I personally like is camera number 2. So I'm going to hold Control 2, saved camera number 2, and that way, okay, top of the round, I draw a cultist. Not this one. Let's do this one. All right, so top of the round, I've drawn a cultist. Oh my gosh, it spawns at an empty location. Boom. Done. Now, the space bar keys into camera 0. So, now I basically never need to use this huge, like, whole table camera. So, I actually like setting camera 0 to my play area. And specifically, I try to cut out these, like, cards that hover here so that my allies can see what's in my hand. So, I'm going to try to zoom in tight enough to do that, and that's going to be my camera 0. So now Shift 1 brings me to the top, Shift 2 brings me here, and then spacebar or Shift 0 brings me to my play area, which is sweet. And so when I'm playing multiplayer, I'll do this as camera 3. Let's move over here. This is now camera number 4. Let's get that nice swath angle on that bad boy. That's camera number 4. Victory display is going to be camera number 8 because I said so. And now I'm zip, zoop, zopping all around this map. Oh my gosh, things are crazy. I love it. Things are great. Okay, so that's cameras. Back to my play area. There's also cool action trackers that are up here that I didn't talk much about. These have states to them, so there's one for every faction. So you can use these to, like I'm playing as a Seeker, right? So these are my actions. And so first action, Ursula's going to move into the hospital, which is cool. But now I'm going to use her Ursula action. And I want to keep track of whether or not I've used her Ursula action this turn. So I'm actually going to create a little action token for her. So many investigators in Arkham have abilities that are roughly equal to an action. So this ends up being a really nice way of keeping track of those. Similarly, if you have like I think Leo DeLuca is probably the best example. He gives you an action every turn, so you can just take one of your tokens up here and put that on Leo, and then that keeps track of like your Leo actions. So first action I moved, then I'm going to free action Ursula investigate, and then I'm going to investigate again, and then I'm going to draw a card. Boom, done. Right? This is also really good for keeping track of Lola rolls. So if you wanted to, you could do something like, I'm going to do this, and I would surround my Lola card like that, you know, just for the sake of the visual. Let's grab Lola. Boop, drop Lola down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So which role is she in? Well, you can flip this over. Or, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, you just put the freaking thing on her, right? And then you're like, oh, she's a guardian. Okay, now she's a rogue. That's better. I don't know why I did all this copy-paste stuff. Just do this. Oh, she's a rogue now. Yeah? Cool. Again, you're always copy-pasting because you don't want things to accidentally be deleted, especially if you're saving the entire board state. Where does this go? Here. She's fine. Now she's in Kelly's box. All right. What else do I have for you? I like to make a copy of the scenario card and put it right next to each player's chaos button. So I draw a special token. Oops, I did it just then. And I'm like, oh, what's that tablet I just drew? Then I can just alt over here and say, oh, okay, it's -3. Great. Oh, I didn't talk about it, but if you want to zoom in and out, that's a scroll wheel option while you're holding down Alt. I didn't talk about that in the last video. Oh well, newbies can figure it out. Where am I going? I need this. I need this window. Okay. So something else I like to do is make a copy of the entire chaos bag. I like the visual to help me figure out what my odds are. So here's my chaos bag. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go up here beneath the side missions. I'm going to paste this. And then we're going to pull out all the tokens. This is an extra bag, so it doesn't really matter. Let's move this box over here. And again, if you click and drag, you pull out a token. If you click and hold, you drag the entire object. So here's what I'm doing. I'm pulling out tokens. Here's a 0. We're going to do -1. -2, etc. You can see it in some of my other playthroughs of things. And then if it's like, okay, skulls are -2, here are my skulls, they're -2. Now we killed a brood of Yog-Sothoth or whatever. So then, boom, I move the skulls up to -1 because they're equal to the number of broods that are in play or whatever. You know, so you can just kind of set this up, and then you know what? Camera number 7, why not? So I'm about to take this test, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm 5 on 2. Is that good? Camera 7, Shift 7, I load that up. Boom. Now I can figure that out, which is pretty sweet. Other thing you can do here is copy and paste the scenario card so that when you are checking what's going on, you can say, oh, okay, well, I remember that skulls are related to Doom, so I can slide them around as needed, right? There you go. Let's say that you like this card here, but you want to make it bigger. You can right-click on Objects, and then when you go to Scale, you hold down the Up button. And now it's a real big Midnight Mask card that is mysteriously inside of this bag now, which is kind of weird. All right, boom. Now, at a glance, I can see all the things that I need to see. It's great. What was after this? Oh, okay. So down here is this big old thing that says Mythos. And I was really annoyed with this for a while because I would try to click on it and I couldn't do anything. I would try to drag it and I couldn't figure out how to drag it. So first of all, this is around a phase checker, and you can use page up and page down to cycle through this. And my computer's thinking about it. But once it's done thinking, there you go. You can also use the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 to bounce around to whichever phase you need. And this is a locked object. So if you click on the object, go to toggle, and then lock, you can now pick it up and move. And then if you don't want it to move later, then you go to toggles and lock. And now you can't move it. How great is that? So oftentimes the way that I'm playing is something like this. Alright, so Mythos phase, I added my Doom. Now there's this obscuring fog, so that goes on my location, which is a drag. And now Investigator phase. First action, Ursula is going to move. Da, 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 da. Then free Ursula action, which is this token right here. I'm going to investigate where I'm at. I'm a 4-on-4, so I'm going to commit Jake Williams. Ooh, Thunder. That's exciting. So I'm a 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 -2. I succeeded, so I get my clue, which is sweet. Next action, I'm going to draw. And last action, I'm going to investigate again with an unexpected courage. I'm 2 up. And cultists are -2. Place 1 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. There's no cultists in play, so I don't have to worry about that, and I succeed. So I'm going to get my clue. And now my Ursula turn is done, so my friends can go. Zadazuza, Zadazizazaza, back to me. We go to the enemy phase. There's no enemies, so then we go to the upkeep phase. I get all my actions back. Ursula flips back over. I draw a card, gain a resource. Look at how smooth that works. I love it. And if you play this game a couple times a week for like 3 weeks, you're going to get all of these keystrokes down really fast, and it's going to be awesome. Last thing that I can point out are more about objects, because I love just pimping out my tables with stuff. So let's say that you are doing the League of Extraordinary Investigators, which is a Discord group that tries to play through a campaign, like a scenario in a campaign every 2 weeks, keep track of who has the most victory points, that kind of thing. In that league, we use turns as a tiebreaker. So I'm going to have my turn tracker up here, which is very convenient because you know, we just finished round 3. I go up to the Mythos phase of round 4, and I click my click tracker. Boom, boom, and I can clear it as well. But you can use this to keep track of other stuff. Maybe you like it for doing commitment math, right? So I don't know why this is upside down, though. I want to do that. So if I draw my Rotting Remains. I'm a 3 willpower. Here's a Guts. I've got this Crystalline Elder Sign in play. So I'm a 3 with Ursula. Then I'm a 4 with the Crystalline Elder Sign, and I'm a 5/6 with Guts. So then I draw my token, and, well, that's a bad example. 6 plus 1, my total result is 7. And look at that. Not only that, but I succeeded by 4, which means I could trigger my lucky cigarette case, or whatever. So there's that. This is pretty neat. There's also dice in your objects menu. You can just kind of like, you know, look around here. But let's say that you want, the metal ones are kind of hard to see. But let's say I am testing out Finn, and I say, I don't know if Finn is really all that good. So I'm going to pull out a D10, and I'm going to roll it by hitting the R button. Now, I'm going to put this next to my Finn Investigator card, or my Ursula Investigator card. Let's just do that. And every time I use my Ursula ability, I'm going to go up by 1. And that way I'm going to keep track of, you know, how much value do I get out of her. Now she's Ursula, and she's amazing, so, you know, I get to 9, and I'm like, oh, I can't keep track anymore because of how amazing Ursula is. So then I go to my dice, and I pull out another one. And if you just hit it, the die spawns, like, in the middle of the table up here, which isn't very helpful. But now, oh my gosh, I used Ursula's ability 13 times. I gained like over 4 rounds worth of actions. That's so great. Ursula's the greatest person ever. Other object that you can do, it would be like, If you need numbers, you can use this piece pack stuff. Clearly, this is designed for a very specific game that I know nothing about. But like, oh, I need a number 5 because it's Mambo number 5 or something. You can do that. Or you can, a scenario where maybe you've got these giant monsters that are running all over a certain country town. You need to determine which location they move to. You just roll a die, right? So you kind of identify ahead of time, maybe with other dice or a piece pack, like this is location number 1. This is location number 2. And this is location number 3. And then you roll the die and you say, oh, that's kind of a weak roll, right? Let's get this guy hopping up here. All right, 2. So then my monster moves towards location number 2 or whatever. So there's some good ideas there. And, you've got marbles. You've got poker chips, although those are usually like money value. RPG kit is not actually as awesome as you maybe want it to be. I like having a lizard warrior for, what's this guy? I like having some kind of lizard warrior for the Harbinger of Volusia. And then you're like, oh, wow, look at this scary monster man. It's kind of cool. Look, he jumps. How cool is that? Oh no, Ursula, watch out. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you, Ursula. Alright, that's enough of my advanced techniques. If you ever need to add a weakness, those weaknesses are up here. You just click on Lovecraft's dumb face. Boom. And then you can pull out the exact weakness you want organized by set, or if you need a random weakness, you shuffle up the all category and you get your hypochondria. Yeah? That's good. Enough of this video jargon. I gotta go eat lunch. Thanks for watching. Again, ask lots of questions. I want to know how I can make these videos better, or if there's another thing that I can add to this. But hopefully this gives you a chance to play with your friends across the country, or if you can play, but you know what, you got to babysit the kid at home. So now you can log on with your friends and do that kind of thing. Again, check out the Palletcast Detective Agency. It's a podcast with my friends Nick and Chris and I. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, some other stuff, I think. So you should be able to find us pretty easily. We'd love feedback, rate us on iTunes, all that good stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. A real good day.